Welcome to Actual English, everyone. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 334, and today's topic is pet peeves. What is your pet peeve? Or do you have pet peeves? Several of them. Of course, you would have to know what a pet peeve is, so here I'll give you the definition of it. A pet peeve is something that annoys you, something that really bothers you, something that makes you angry sometimes. Something that you cannot stand or tolerate. But the point is, this usually only involves you. So other people may be okay with it, but if it especially bothers you or annoys you, it can be your pet peeve. Okay? So there are common pet peeves, but each and every individual, even I do, we all have our own individual pet peeves. Things that particularly annoy us and really irritate us. Let's find out all about this topic with our first segment, Actual Talk.
So Wednesday evening in our house is a little bit of a boys' club night. The boys come over, we play a little bit of PlayStation and have a drink or two and just chat about work and stuff. And I find that the boys really moan about work, that they have no free time and that they're always so busy.
Right.
And it's one of those things that I find is a real pet peeve with me, that people moan when they don't really consider how much free time they have.
It's kind of a delicate balance, like what you're saying, midweek release, a little bit of time to relax or maybe process some frustrating things that have happened during the week. I think it's important to be able to have that cathartic conversation with a friend, but complaining can become a really bad habit.
Very much so.
And it can, it's kind of contagious. I feel like if I'm around complainers all the time, then suddenly I start viewing the world from the perspective of a complainer. Everything starts bothering me. I get angry at like the little things and I stop seeing the things that are good in life.
Yeah, certainly. There's an element of looking at the bigger picture and not being engrossed in every little thing that happens during the day that allows you to bring on that negative mindset. Because you're like looking through somebody else's eyes at the world and becoming really annoyed and angry about little things. I think we have so much more free time than we give ourselves credit for. But because you get caught up and ingrained in the daily life, that you become very, very narrow-minded.
Right. And I think what you do with your free time is super important. Whether you're doing something that's productive or creating something that feels good, or whether you're just like drinking or trying to numb yourself from all those negative things that you've been focusing on all week.
Ooh, wow, that's very good. I might have to come to Mary for some mindset counseling on that one. That's a really good point. I like that. That's good.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for Actual Talk. Time for us to take a deeper look into what these two people mentioned. So today we had Martin and Mary talking about their pet peeves. Do you remember what they were? Let's take a look together. First of all, Martin said, Wednesday evening in our house is a little bit of a boys' club. He's talking about a boys' night. It's also called a boys' night out. A boys' night out is where guy friends get together and they go out. They go out to clubs or bars, wherever they want to have a good time. It's a guy's night. Only men are allowed, only guy friends. But he says Wednesday evening in our house is a little bit of a boys' club, a boys' night. So they stay indoors, just guys, and they have a good time. They spend time together, have a few drinks, talk about this and that, chit-chat, right? And he gives examples. The boys come over, we play a little bit of PlayStation, have a drink or two, and chat about work and stuff. So these are the things they do when they get together, okay, on their boys' club night or boys' night. Although you're an adult, you can be 30-something, 40-something, 50-something, 70, 80-something, but this is just a way we say a night out with the guys, guy friends. Guys' night out, guys out, a guy's night is fine, but Boys' night is used very commonly as well, no matter how old you are. So basically, he's telling us what him and his friends do when they get together. So the boys come over, his friends come over to his place, they play a little bit of games, and they have a drink or two. If you say that you have a drink, usually means that you're drinking alcohol. So you can drink a little bit or one too many and chat about this and that. They usually chat about work and stuff. So work as well as other things. So this is what they do. And I find that the boys really moan about work. Okay, they moan about work. What is moan? Moan. Usually, a person can moan, an animal can moan. You're basically making a sound, okay, a moaning sound. But to moan about something means to complain about. Complain about this and that. So he says, I find that the boys really moan about work. They really complain about work. They're not happy with work. That they have no free time. They complain about not having any free time. And they also complain that they're always so busy. These are some things they moan about. These are some things they complain about related to work. Okay? All right, moving on. Now, Mary says it's kind of a delicate balance. What is delicate in this case? We're saying that it is very sensitive. Okay, it's a very sensitive balance. It's not easy to balance, okay? Like what you're saying, midweek release. Midweek. Usually as a noun, the stress goes on the first syllable. It's also used as an adjective, okay? Such as midweek holiday, all right? So midweek basically means mid, comes from middle, midweek, middle of the week, okay? So she's saying, yeah, what you're saying, midweek release. This is when, right in the middle of the week, you release, you let go, you relieve all that stress. You talk about this and that, okay? A little bit of time to relax or maybe process some frustrating things that have happened during the week. So we've got two vocab words. We looked at midweek, which means in the middle of the week, right in the center of the week. And process, in this case, we mean to deal with something, okay? To take care of something, manage something. So she's saying, yes, in the middle of the week sometimes, we need to release our stress, okay? Sometimes we need some time to relax or maybe process, okay? Deal with, manage some frustrating things that have happened during the week. So we need to do something to get rid of all that stress and also relax, okay, during the week. I think it's important to be able to have that cathartic conversation with a friend. Now, cathartic. This has to do with catharsis. Catharsis. It comes from the word catharsis. Okay? Cathartic basically means that it's cleansing. It's purifying. Okay? So she's saying that it's important to be able to have cathartic conversations. Really helpful conversations that help you relax, I guess. Okay, cleansing, purifying, thus making you much more relaxed. With a friend, so it's good to talk to a friend, but complaining can become a really bad habit. So she's saying instead of complaining, it's important to be able to have these very relaxing, cathartic conversations. Martin seems to agree, so he says very much so. And Mary moves on. And it's kind of contagious. If you say that something is contagious, what are you saying? Just in case you don't know, that's a difficult word. Contagious. Contagious. I'll give you an example. Colds are contagious. If you catch a cold, a family member may catch the cold from you because the common cold is contagious. It means that it spreads easily, okay? So colds spread from one person to another. So colds are contagious. And she says that those kinds of things are contagious. It can spread from one person to another. And she gives an example. If I am around complainers, if I am with complainers, then suddenly I start viewing the world from the perspective of a complainer. So she's saying she becomes a complainer too. Why? Because it is contagious. Everything starts bothering me. Everything starts annoying me, irritating me, making me angry. I get angry at little things, the smallest things, the unimportant things, and I stop seeing the things that are good in life. She stops seeing those things. So she's basically saying that if she is around or with a complainer that complains about this and that, she becomes unhappy too. So she starts to complain about things in life, and she only focuses on the negative things in life and not on the good things in life. So I think it is contagious. It spreads very easily. Yes, certainly, Martin says. There's an element of looking at the bigger picture. The big picture. What is the big picture? Often we say, hey, look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. You know, concentrate on the big picture. What is that? 큰 그림? What does that mean? Basically means to focus on, look at, concentrate on the important facts of a situation. Don't look at those small, unimportant things, but look at the most important thing in a situation. Okay, that means look at the big picture. So he says there's an element of looking at the big picture and not being engrossed in every little thing that happens during the day. Okay, so it's not about being engrossed in the tiny little things, the unimportant things. Okay, but you need to look at the bigger picture. So we're talking about the important things, the important facts of a situation, and to be engrossed in something is to be fully occupied, especially when you're talking about being fully occupied, your attention being occupied, or even your mind and your thoughts, okay? So don't pay so much attention to the smallest, the little details, but look at the big picture. And then he says, or else you will have a negative mindset, okay? You will have a negative attitude, a negative thought, best said, mindset. I think we have so much more free time. Yes, we do have a lot of free time, but you get caught up. Get caught up means to be stuck, okay? And ingrained in the daily life that you become very narrow-minded. So we've got caught up and ingrained, okay? To be ingrained means to be implanted, to be fixed, stuck somewhere, okay? And only look at one thing or only think about one thing. A thought can be ingrained, which means a thought can be stuck in your mind. So he's saying, yes, we have so much more free time, but we focus on the useless things. We waste our time because we get ingrained in the daily life that you become very, very narrow-minded. The opposite of narrow-minded is broad-minded, or if you're narrow-minded, it basically means that you only believe in what you know. Other people may share their views, their thoughts, their perspectives, their opinions, but you don't pay attention to that. You have a very narrow mind. You only know what's here. You don't look around, okay? We'll practice that later on. So he says you will become very narrow-minded. Now, Mary says, I think what you do with your free time is super important. It's very, very important. Whether you're doing something that's productive. If something is productive, it means that it brings about good results, positive results. It's helpful, okay? It's effective. Or you're creating something that feels good. Or whether you're just drinking or trying to numb yourself from all those negative things that you've been focusing on all week. Wow, that was long. Okay, anyhow, she's saying, what you do with your free time is most important. You know, make use of your free time. Don't waste that free time. So she's saying, you know, do something productive, okay? Or you can do something such as creating something that makes you feel good. Or you can drink. That's not wasting time. You can drink. You can even try to numb yourself, meaning to forget about those negative things. It doesn't matter what you do, but it's important that you focus on it. And remember, it is very, very important to spend your free time wisely. Moving on, Martin says, ooh, wow, that's very good. I might have to come to Mary for some mindset counseling on that one. That's a really good point. So, yes, we see that, you know, Mary's got some great ideas. I think she would be a really, really good counselor. We mentioned that she said, this wasn't another lesson. I think it was our previous lesson. She mentioned that her and her friends got married around the same time, and she sometimes becomes a therapist, and she gives advice to her friends. I think she's given us some great advice as well, and that's why Martin says, wow, I'm impressed. Maybe I should come to you for some mindset counseling. Okay, anyhow, let's take a listen to the conversation one more time.
So Wednesday evening in our house is a little bit of a boys' club night. Mm-hmm. The boys come over, we play a little bit of PlayStation and have a drink or two and just chat about work and stuff. And I find that the boys really moan about work, that they have no free time and that they're always so busy.
Right.
And it's one of those things that I find is a real pet peeve with me, that people moan when they don't really consider how much free time they have.
It's kind of a delicate balance, like what you're saying, midweek release, a little bit of time to relax or maybe process some frustrating things that have happened during the week. I think it's important to be able to have that cathartic conversation with a friend, but complaining can become a really bad habit.
Very much so.
And it can, it's kind of contagious. I feel like if I'm around complainers all the time, then suddenly I start viewing the world from the perspective of a complainer. Everything starts bothering me. I get angry at like the little things and I stop seeing the things that are good in life.
Yeah, certainly. There's an element of looking at the bigger picture and not being engrossed in every little thing that happens during the day that allows you to bring on that negative mindset. Because you're like looking through somebody else's eyes at the world and becoming really annoyed and angry about little things. I think we have so much more free time than we give ourselves credit for. But because you get caught up and ingrained in the daily life, that you become very, very narrow-minded.
Right. And I think what you do with your free time is super important. Whether you're doing something that's productive or creating something that feels good, or whether you're just like drinking or trying to numb yourself from all those negative things that you've been focusing on all week.
Ooh, wow, that's very good. I might have to come to Mary for some mindset counseling on that one. That's a really good point. I like that. That's good.
Now it's time for actual expressions. Are you ready for some vocab words and the patterns? Now these are vocab words we learned today in today's actual talk conversation. And after we take you through these, we'll practice some patterns with some sample sentences. So here we go with our first word we have, midweek. It's one word, and mid stands for middle. So middle of the week is the definition of midweek. Midweek, midweek, okay? But usually, even when it's used as an adjective, the stress usually goes on the first syllable. Midweek Wednesday, midweek holiday. So usually we're talking about the third working day, which happens to be Wednesday when you say midweek, right in the middle of the week. Process, we're talking about processing something as in a verb. In British English, they say process. Process. It's pronounced slightly differently. In American English, it's process, process, process. In British English, it's closer to process, process. Just remember that. It means to handle, take care of. Cathartic. Here we go. Let's practice the pronunciation 3 times. Cathartic, cathartic. One more time. Cathartic. There we go. This pertains to catharsis or has the effects of catharsis. So some synonyms are cleansing. If you say something is cathartic, you're saying it's very purifying as well. Okay? Moving on, engross. Engross means to captivate, immerse, fully occupy, completely occupy your attention and your mind. Ingrain is similar. It means to implant something, such as an idea or something in your mind. Fix, implant. And if something is productive, it is what? Fruitful. It's creative. It's worthwhile, even constructive. Something that brings about positive results. Good results could be described as being productive. Here we go. Moan about something. Okay, that's our first pattern. Moan about something simply means to complain about something. Complain about something. I can't stand Monica. Oh, I can't stand her. She moans about every little thing. Every tiny little thing. She moans about everything. Okay? Some people are like this. They're just unhappy. They moan about everything. Here we go. The big picture or the whole picture. Okay? These mean the same thing. So when somebody says the big picture or the whole picture, we're talking about the most important facts about a situation. And it also includes the effects that a situation brings forth. Okay? So here is a sample sentence. Stop looking at the details. Stop looking at the details and try to concentrate on the big picture. Try to concentrate on the important facts of the situation. Look at the important things. Don't focus on the unimportant things, the little things. Don't focus on that. And then finally we have our final one, narrow-minded versus broad-minded verses. Narrow, broad. So you have an open mind, a closed mind, okay? My dad is so narrow-minded. He never tries to look at things from anyone else's perspective. He never tries to look at things from anyone else's perspective. So we're saying that he is close-minded, okay? My dad is so narrow-minded, close-minded. He only knows this. He doesn't know what's around, okay? So once again, the opposite of narrow-minded would be broad-minded. Open-minded, broad-minded. Another way of saying narrow-minded is closed-minded, okay? All right, job well done, everyone.